What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from Anime Uproar, and I'm back at it again to discuss the latest and craziest developments in the One Piece story. Today we got more Joy Boy hype, and we finally got a confirmed conclusion to the Law and Kid versus Big Mom fight. We get to see her fate, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy seeing these One Piece reviews on the channel and want to keep them coming, you know what to do. Channel the Pirate King within and smash that like button. Always remember, smashing that like button is Pirate King energy and passing is scared Orochi energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications, or you will miss future One Piece videos and updates. And while you wait for the next chapter to drop, feel free to check out my big One Piece playlist that includes videos on all Yonko, Warlord, Supernova, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. This chapter is called Falling on Deaf Ears, and man does it work perfectly for this chapter, as we're about to find out. So as we saw last chapter, Kid released his very strong cannon, and I thought it was over because of how long we've been covering it, how long we've been in Wano, and how we need to get to Luffy and Kaido eventually. And it was close to being over, but Oda uses a portion of this chapter to wrap it up, paying even more respect to the Yonko being defeated, which after how much Yonko have been built up makes total sense. Now it's even harder to complain that a Yonko was beat too easily. Kid's attack is pushing Big Mom into a hole that reaches all the way through the floating island and even well below the ground way below. However, Big Mom is not falling through it. She's a boss as usual, and even says that when Kid's attack stops tickling her, the two can either give her 50 years from their lifespans, or they can live as her slaves. She starts stealing the lifespans of the people around, and the surrounding people comment on how she's a monster who doesn't look anywhere near death's door. AKA, she's got a pretty good poker face. Law's subordinates are freaking out and say they've got to get out of here, but Law is super cool as usual and says you guys go ahead. Kid says the last gasps of an old windbag don't scare him, and Law activates Room, while commenting on Big Mom's death screeches. So the two aren't frightened, and thus Big Mom cannot actually take their souls in this manner. It's even pointed out with surprise that their souls aren't coming out, and they're praised that she's an emperor and they're not scared at all. Law even references Corazon when he says, "I'll handle this just like the man who saved my life," who of course used his power so that Law's cries wouldn't be heard while he was escaping. Kid is just unrelenting and blunt as usual, saying he'll send the Emperor to the afterlife. And despite Big Mom's talk, to Kid's credit, she really appears to be paralyzed by the cannon attack, since she can't move while Law is preparing his own thing. With Room, Law creates a bubble around Big Mom and cancels out every sound she's making. It's funny how Law even teases her, pretty much saying, "Oh, what's that? I can't hear you." Then Kid says have another and increases the power of his continuous attack, kind of like a continued Kamehameha and then like just another push, I guess you could say, of it. This sends Big Mom further and further down into the hole, and she has the so hurt her eyes are whited out thing going on. She wants Prometheus and Hera to save her, but she can't actually give orders and say anything. Eventually she breaks through to Yamato's level, and to Yamato's shock, because so much damage made no sound. Big Mom is conscious now, but realizes that nothing she touches makes a sound. She sets off some bombs, but Yamato with her ice powers keeps the damage contained, as we knew she would. And the next thing we know, Big Mom is even more beat up from the explosions, coughing out smoke. She's already passed through the entire floating island, meaning Kid and Law have done their job. Her internal dialogue is interesting as well. She actually calls out Roger, the Pirate King himself, asking why did he have to go and say all that stuff. The whole world bought it, the Great Pirate Era thing. Big Mom is upset because his time was up, so it didn't affect him, but it does affect her, and all those brats came flooding in looking for their chance to shine, and Roger left them, meaning that generation or the Yonko, to deal with it. While she's thinking this, we also see Robin and Brook running, apparently towards Zoro's collapsed body. We know Zoro's eventually gonna be okay, but right now, this is insane damage even for Zoro's high pain threshold. It would be funny if the death figure he saw was just a hallucination combined with Brook's image coming to save him here, but if anyone is close enough to death right now to actually see death, it's gotta be Zoro. Back to Big Mom, and she has this interesting camaraderie with Roger, like a friend who feels she was owed more and should have been treated better. She thinks that Roger could have at least told them, or their generation, about the One Piece before he croaked. and I really love this feeling of pirate camaraderie among the legends and the strongest pirates. We also see Raizo still in the thick of all that fire, and he's the one standing as his opponent is on the ground saying he needs water. And so Raizo, in a very cool and stoic way, came up with the win here. In Naruto, a ninja is referred to by Kakashi as one who endures. So this fight was pretty much perfect for these two ninja, and Raizo definitely did a great job at being a ninja, aka he did a great job at enduring. Big Mom is approaching ground level now in the circular silent room, wondering what is the One Piece, where is it, does Wano hold some of the answers. She's so frustrated by it all. She thinks about Kid and Law and how she won't forgive this. She tells them this won't be enough to kill her, and I don't think anyone really expected them to kill her, just to temporarily beat her or get her out of the way. And she looks scared as finally another giant explosion engulfs her. We're told in black and white terms this time, no need to speculate, the victors are, says the narrator, Eustace, Captain Kidd, and the Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar Law. The great thing is too, because of the silent room, the giant explosion is not even heard by the partying capital nearby. Kidd and Law are really drained now, and you can see it. It took a lot out of them to smash Big Mom like that. Their side celebrates saying they defeated Big Mom. This is huge, really huge. And I can't agree with that statement more. It's happened, we've defeated a Yonko. And even if Big Mom returns to her crew, you know the newspapers will make a big deal of this defeat, and she won't be looked at the same way again. Kind of sucks for her though, since she got double teamed and didn't have the help of her crew here like Kaido did to help her out. We then jump back to Yamato, who sees Momo through the hole in the basement. She explains one of the bombs went off, but she was able to freeze the others before the whole armory blew. Solid job by Yamato here. Momo then tells her something else that's huge. Zunisha is getting pretty close now. Yamato responds, "You mean the elephant Odin mentioned in his journal?" And Momo says, "Yes, exactly. It committed a serious crime 800 years ago, back when it was Joy Boy's companion." And that's when the chapter ends, and we are told we're going to be on a break next week. More Joy Boy stuff. This arc has been really amazing for that. It was before suggested by Miyagi that Zunisha may not be walking around aimlessly as it was sentenced to, but may actually be looking for a certain location. And now that we know that Zunisha was friends with Joy Boy, it could be it is looking for a certain person rather than location, aka it could be looking for the next Joy Boy. And the fact that it's approaching here suggests that the new Joy Boy might have officially arrived. Since we had plenty of evidence that Luffy is the new Joy Boy, it's pretty likely that Zunisha might sense this now and is coming to help the new Joy Boy just as it helped the old one. This could be an important detail for how the Straw Hats managed to escape from this seemingly inescapable situation. But let me know your thoughts on this. Is this yet another clue that Luffy is Joy Boy, or do you have another theory as to what Momo's words could mean? Who was your MVP? For me, it pretty much just carried over from the last chapter. I sort of feel like these chapters were very related because of the Big Mom and Kid and Law fight, and yeah, Kid and Law continue to be awesome and get the job done. I also really enjoyed seeing Big Mom's frustration and her thoughts directed to Roger. Clearly, she's not confident anymore in her own powers, and she's really bothered by these new brats who seem to keep coming and keep gaining power, as she's getting older and older and further from her prime. But yeah, that is it for this one. If you did enjoy it and want to keep the reviews coming, you know what to do. Channel the Pirate King Within and smash that like button with no mercy. Always remember, smashing that like button is Pirate King energy and passing is scared Orochi energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell to, you guessed it, turn on all notifications or you will miss future One Piece videos and updates. And while you wait for the next video to drop, feel free to check out my big One Piece playlist that includes videos on all the Yonko, Warlords, Supernova, Admirals, Every Fruit, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.